Today, we're going to be looking at a channel that perfectly demonstrates what happens when you have a ton of passion but no direction. I'm Colin. I'm a full-time content creator. I've gotten millions of views on YouTube, made tens of thousands of dollars from YouTube alone. And in today's video, we're going to do a complete audit of this channel. No BS, no fluff. We're going to look at everything from the niche and branding to the video content and more. So let's jump right into it. How can we take this channel from losing to winning today? This is Toxicity. This is a channel that we can see here from the titles and thumbnails is very clearly centered around VR. We have things like the scariest maps on Chill Out VR, a better VR chat, let's try it out, and the dark side of virtual reality. So a VR-centric channel. Up until these last two videos, I would say that the niche is fairly defined. It was very clear that we were talking about VR chat stuff. The videos themselves are kind of all over the place in the VR space. The downfall of VR chat player plays Neo VR. VR chat player makes friends on Neos VR, why Neos VR? We're talking a lot about that, and then the scariest maps on Chill Out VR. I'm not really sure what I could expect from this channel or what we would necessarily be talking about, but we do have a niche. The niche is VR. It's just not super defined what we're talking about in that niche. The target audience is obviously going to be people interested in VR, specifically VR chat. And do we have a unique value proposition? So this is the number one thing that I see new channels fail on is they don't have a unique value proposition when we look at things like what makes you, are you uniquely knowledgeable or good at anything? Are you trying to provide some kind of transformation for the audience? Are you doing anything better than other creators in your niche? I'm not seeing anything like that here. I could probably watch people with better titles and thumbnails look at scariest maps on Neos VR. Can we even see that? That sounds pretty niche. Is that something people are even interested in? Let's look it up and find out. Here's your video. So maybe not. You might have this cornered. But is there anyone even looking for this stuff? Maybe not necessarily. I've never heard of Neos VR, so you might own that, but may not be any interest in that. I know for sure that we could look up like VR chat alternatives and find people with videos on that. Yeah, oh wait, that's unrelated. So I decided to try out this, Avatar Marketplace. There's other people in this space here who are making really high quality content and own it. And even though you might have some unique ideas here that you could play around with that might actually give you a unique value proposition, we're definitely gonna have to up the quality on these titles and thumbnails before that's gonna shine through. And it's also a very small space, I think. So that could be part of the reason why these ideas are unique and nobody else is making them, which is both an advantage for you and a disadvantage. It means that you can really easily stand out and have a unique value proposition because no one else in the space is really making stuff. It's small, you can stand out, but there's also a lot less demand. That's not necessarily the worst combo. I actually got my start as a YouTuber for the most part in a very similar space with a game called Vintage Story. We can go look at this channel. I saw a great opportunity here. No one was making content around this game. It's like a Minecraft-esque game. No one was making content around it. I knew that we could come in and make better content than anyone who was making the content there. And we did. We won. We could have continued to pump out content in this niche and see similar views like this. I know we could own this space if we wanted to. But there are trade-offs that come with working in a really small space like that. And one of them is the amount of money you can make, the amount of views you can actually get. So all of that stuff is there to think about. We can go into that later though. First, let's go ahead and look at your branding. Kind of all over the place. Think you're using Canva-esque stuff to make these titles and thumbnails. They definitely need a lot of work. You have clear branding here, which is pretty cool. It has some personality, so I think this is fine, but then this style is not carried through to your titles and thumbnails at all, which is not good. Whenever we look at your about section here, we just have a random dude on the internet who's trying to become something. Join me on the journey. It's super vague, doesn't tell me what type of content I can expect from you or anything. If you want to be successful on YouTube, you're making content for other people. You're making content for the viewer, for the audience you're trying to appeal to. And I don't know what type of content you are trying to make from any of this right here. I don't know what I can expect from you. and it's not good. This needs to be clearer. You could just replace this yin and yang with like VR content. You would already have a clearer like branding here of like, okay, I can expect VR content. At least I would know that from your branding, you know? But right now I know literally nothing about you from your branding other than you're a random dude trying to become something. So like, what are you even trying to become? I don't know. You've told me nothing about you with your branding at all. It's got a little bit of personality, but that's it. It's not a huge deal, of course. You know, branding is not everything on YouTube. It's not like I have some spectacular brand on this channel here it's learn YouTube, make money. But at the very least, you can see here, I help people win on YouTube, learn YouTube, make money. It's very clear what I offer and the transformation I'm trying to give my audience, what value I provide. Your branding does not accomplish that. With your branding out of the way, let's go ahead and look at your content pillars. Like what are we talking about? Well, it looks like we're talking about maps and we're talking about comparing like VR chat alternatives and stuff. So you do have like some content buckets here where we're doing some things consistently. And then we have like these sort of video essay style things where you're talking about, the struggles of gaming or the risk of obsession and stuff, the dark side of virtual reality, which are a little different than these other pieces of content. But really the biggest issue here is, dude, you uploaded 3 months ago, and before that, everything else is like a year plus old. Unfortunately, it's just not good enough. You are a newer creator. You have a lot to learn to be successful on the platform. You can't put out a video that's 4 minutes long, every like couple of months. It's just not going to cut it. Maybe if these videos were 2 hours long, right, I would understand it being, let's see, like 9 months or whatever between your uploads, or, maybe then I would understand, okay, these videos take a while to make. But the gap here is just, it's way too long. You're not going to get the reps in fast enough, right? You won't develop your skills quick enough to ever really succeed because it takes you so long to make a video, to actually get a video out. If I go let's just click on this video.
VR chat. What happened?
I mean, we'll let it play in the background. There's some editing taking place here. Like, I don't want to knock you for trying stuff and, experimenting and seeing what you can do, and editing and trying things like that. All of that is great. But I mean, this level of editing is not so much that it should take you, that your last month upload should be 3 months ago. And we haven't seen anything from you since then. And then before that, it was a year ago. When did this video come out? January of 2024. Yeah, dude, you're not putting content out fast enough. You have 19 videos over the course of 4 years. How can you ever expect to get good at making videos if you're only going to put out a video, every year? If you're going to take 4 years to make 19 videos, it's just not fast enough. I hope that I've hammered that home at least enough that, like, if I'm looking at your channel and I'm like, okay, why is this guy not winning? That's one of the biggest things right out the gate, is you're just not making enough content. You're not getting enough reps in. I made 200 plus videos before ever really seeing success. Most people make at least 100. I think Mr. Beast says, make 100 videos and then start asking questions. Then you can talk to me about like, what am I doing wrong? Because it's just a lot of work. You got to wear a lot of hats in content creation, You got to come up with ideas. You got to script. You got to make titles and thumbnails. You got to edit. You got to do the voiceover. You got to, animate things if you want that in your video. You got to act if certain things call for it. Like, there's so many different hats that you have to wear. You've got to upload. You've got to market. You've got to, it's endless, right? You can't get good at all those skills putting out 19 videos in 4 years. Also, if it seems like I'm going a little harder in this one than I normally would, this person said, hey, all jokes aside, I literally asked for advice 5 to 10 minutes. Go hard on me, bro. I'm a grown-ass man. Well, here we are, okay? If you're a grown-ass man, I need you to put some grown-ass man effort into your fucking videos and get more out. Get some reps in. Practice. It will take immense amounts of practice to actually get good at making videos. All right. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about your, like, the actual content that you're making, right? And then we'll jump into like an actual video. Okay, so let's talk about the actual content that you're making, right? We're talking about VR games and it's specifically social VR games like VR chat and stuff. I'm sure, I don't know who they are, but I'm sure there are people who are doing fun stuff in VR chat and talking about it. And like, here's a channel I found immediately, right? There is an audience for this. Maybe not a huge one, but one you could definitely be a part of and like make content for. The biggest thing that you're going to have to do is work on your titles and your thumbnails. I see right off the bat. So typically you want to avoid putting these like parentheses at the end, like the downfall of VR chat, the dark side of virtual reality, VR chat players making friends. Like this one's better. A few VR chat alternatives. Like these are good titles, right? They're clear, they're straight, they're simple, they're to the point. They're going to get you a lot more mileage than how good is Oasis VR compared to VR chat best alternative, exclamation question part. We don't need that necessarily, or like a better VR chat. Let's try it out. Chill out VR. Like you have VR, chill out VR in the thumbnail here. The biggest thing for your titles, for your thumbnails is going to be the amount of clutter in them. There's just a lot going on. I mean, let's compare this to this person I literally just found like 2 seconds ago. There is a central character and like maybe some text, right? Like here's a central character, a single character with a background, a single character, very clear, very present. We'll go look at somebody else's. Also, I have no idea who any of these people are. I'm just picking random people here. Single character, VR chat behind them. It's like the same exact thing with some text sometimes. Now let's compare that to your thumbnails where it's like, okay, we have some text, we have 2 game logos, we have a little guy, we've got a check mark, we got an X, we have like a dual colored background, we have, VR chat over a person with a little rainy cloud. I don't know what that's even there. We got that other thing and more people. Like it's just, the concept is not clear here in any way, shape, or form. And if you look at your videos that have done well, right? The videos that have all done better on your channel, they have much clearer thumbnails, right? They're still cluttered. There's still way too much going on in them, but they're better. Is this a better VR chat? ? Then we have like a night. It's very clear you've set up like a versus thing. Cool. This one, best VR chat alternatives. It's clear, like, right? The text is clear and large and simple. There's all this other bullshit around it that doesn't need to be there. I guarantee you this thumbnail would have done just as well, if not better, if you got rid of all of this random clutter around best VR chat alternatives. We look at this one. It's still really cluttered, and I used it as an example just a moment ago. But like it's still like somewhat clear. We have the 2 games dueling off compared to this one right here. I think is a lot worse. There's like, why are we at the beach? Because it's Oasis. It's too clever. It's not good enough. It needs to be much simpler. If you look at all of my thumbnails, right, on let's say the Overwatch channel, if we look at these, they are simple and clear. Very, very simple. Do not push. Giant bold letters. Big red arrow. 1 guy. 0 players online. Character from the game. 2 skins from the game. Money gone. Very clear. Deleted. Every ability deleted from the game. Then we have 3 representations of the abilities. Hated heroes. Most hated heroes. 3 heroes and the word hated in big red letters. It's very clear, very bold, simple, right? I want you to think simple. Okay, we need to simplify your thumbnails greatly. The later stuff that you've been doing, this is better, right? This is definitely better. I'm not a fan of this though. It's still too much. It's not cohesive. This is probably the best thumbnail I think you've made so far. It's simple, it's clear, it's somewhat visually cohesive. You are improving as time goes on, right? And just think about how much faster you would improve if you got these videos out faster. If you got more videos done, you had more thumbnails made. If you just spent a week making nothing but thumbnails, make a thumbnail, 2 thumbnails every day for random videos, you would get a lot better at this really fast. I'm sure you have content creators in the VR space that you look up to. I would look at their titles and thumbnails and to do things similar to them. You don't have to copy them one for one, but you can like get ideas from them, see what they're doing and compare what they're doing to what you're doing and see how you can improve. All right, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and look at your actual content. But real quick, if you've gotten any value from this video at all, go ahead and comment banana down below and I will choose one of those channels for a future audit. So look, the single biggest mistake I see new creators make is that they don't know why anyone should watch them. They don't know what makes them unique. So I created a very simple worksheet that you can go fill out that will help you solve that. You can get it for free in the link in the description. Takes probably like 15 minutes to fill out and it'll give you way more direction than anything else I've seen other people provide. This is the #1 problem I see new creators have. This will solve it for you. It's a perfect first step before you consider things like my full audit toolkit or a one-on-one with me. So go ahead and check those out in the link in the description. All right, let's go ahead and check out some of your actual content. We'll do one of these older videos, right? Let's go ahead and look at your most popular and then we'll look at your newest.
We're gonna do this right this time. First and foremost, I'm
very quiet, right? I personally keep my stuff really quiet and you're already so quiet, I'm gonna have to turn you up.
We're gonna do this right this time. First and foremost, I'm sick. Second and behind most, it ain't Rona. I messed up. I messed up in the previous Neos VR video. Bruh, y'all leaving this video. Y'all wanna see gameplay. Shit. Listen to this.
What is going on? I have no idea what's going on. You've broken my eardrums, too.
Ooh, I can join worlds now, yo. Why am I lagging? Dark Sugar, this is all your...
This is not a video, right? Unfortunately, like, I'm being real harsh. This is not a video. This is not a piece of content. You've done a lot of editing here in an attempt to make it one, but this is just you playing a game, like, yelling into your mic and shit. I have no idea what's going on. You didn't set anything up. I clicked, is this a better VR chat video? I expected to learn about Neos VR. I expected you to open up with like, hey guys, if you love VR chat, I've found an alternative called Neos VR. If you haven't heard of it, this is what it is. These are the benefits of it. These are the things that it does worse than VR chat. This is why you might play it instead of VR chat. This is why I play it instead of VR chat. Tell me that stuff. I don't know. What is this? I have no, you promised me a video and didn't deliver like at all. It does not follow up in any way. Maybe that was like a fluke. Let's try this one, right?
Right this time. First and foremost, I'm sick. Second and...
Is this the same video? Am I watching the same video?
Ooh, I can join worlds now, yo. Why am I lagging, Dark?
Why did you upload the same video twice to your channel? Why would you do that? Don't do that. Get rid of one of those. Don't do that. That's bad. You can get hit for spam in general. Just don't do that. That is not good. You can rehash the same idea, right? But again, even this does not deliver on the title and thumbnail you gave me. A few VR chat alternatives. I expect you to run down a list and be like, hey guys, today I'm going to tell you about a few VR chat alternatives. I see this one's a lot longer. I don't know, dude. You built on top of this video. Don't upload 2 versions of the same video like that. Don't do that. Very bad. You can get hit with spam. Don't do it. And then I need you to deliver what the video actually promises me, the viewer. If I click on a few VR chat alternatives, I expect it to be like a listicle video where you're like, here are some VR chat alternatives. Like, hey guys, if you love VR chat, today I'm going to show you 5 different alternatives to VR chat. I'll go through why they're good, why they're bad, and why you should pick them instead of VR chat if you're interested. Do you see how already that's a piece of content that provides value to the viewer? If we go back to the Why Watch Me worksheet, what question are people who are watching your videos typing into the YouTube bar at 2 a.m.? What are VR chat alternatives? Boom, I am here to answer that question for you, dear viewer. What's the biggest struggle or pain point related to my niche? Maybe VR chat has some huge problem with it and you're like, hey guys, these are the best alternatives to VR chat and they solve the biggest problem with VR chat. Here they are. Let me talk to you about them. Let me solve this problem for you. That is a unique value proposition that delivers value to the viewer and it would give people a reason to watch you. Right there would be so beautiful. It'd be perfect videos. I doubt there's even that many people making those videos because the VR community is so small. You could probably own that category if you just made that video. Like, I don't know how many people are going to watch that because I don't know the size of the VR chat community, but that's at least like a banger video for a channel just like this. Like 40K views, probably pretty easy if you delivered. Let's go ahead and let's look at your newest video, right? Because these are very different from your previous videos.
Haha. Oh, oh. Oh my god.
Hey, you fixed your audio, it seems like.
Oh my god. Oh my god. What? What do you mean? What I was doing? Nothing. I was sleeping. You woke me up. Wait, we have an exam later? It's 5 a.m.? Why did you wake me up? Yeah, of course I studied. Yeah, sleep well to you too. Alright, maybe a few more minutes then I'm actually done. And so he kept playing. Just few minutes became an hour. That hour became a whole day. He just couldn't stop playing. You see, he had a very tough life, and instead of seeking help, he was seeking for an escape. Because whatever he was going through in his life, it was way too much for him to handle. Or so he thought at least. So he kept looking and looking, and found the addiction that is gaming.
Okay. This is a very different type of content. So I can appreciate you have definitely improved, it seems like, over, the course of the videos that you've been making. There's a much different feel to this. It feels much more like a piece of content, like a video, something that somebody would watch. It's got a reason. It's promising value and stuff. But let's go ahead and let's break this one down. So first of all, the struggle that is gaming, and then you repeat the title in the thumbnail, right? That's generally bad. So whenever we're looking at our thumbnails and our titles, we have two places that we can essentially advertise our video. And if you repeat the title in the thumbnail, you're basically wasting some of that space. You want to use the words in your thumbnail, if it has words, to build on the title or to add a curiosity factor to create intrigue there. You don't want it to just say the exact same thing because you're wasting that real estate. So instead, imagine if you had put like, I'm broken on the thumbnail, right? Or 4,000 hours or something, or like 16 hours a day. Do you see how all of those ideas sort of like build on top of the struggle that is gaming? Now I'm building on top of that. I'm adding more factors into it that would give someone a reason to watch it, right? The little graphic here, this guy could be way bigger. I mean, we don't need the lower half of his body. You should make him bigger. You should make that little health bar bigger, But there is something here. As for the idea itself, you're going to make a little video essay about how gaming addiction is bad. It's kind of weak. The reasons it's weak is because I'm sure this has been done a ton. So you kind of lose your unique value proposition here whenever we do this, because if we look at gaming addiction, this is a topic that's been covered extensively by so many people, from news organizations to content creators. Like, this is a topic that has a lot of competition. So now we have to think, what value are you bringing to this idea? I don't know. It was not immediately presented to me in the video. You open with like a little skit sort of story thing, and then you go into talking about a fictional guy who it seems like was you, but I'm not really sure. And then you go into telling your story. It feels not very well thought out and a little disorganized. Instead, if we're thinking about, okay, what can you actually bring to this topic? Maybe it is your story, which is fine. Maybe you have a really interesting story, a personal story to tell about gaming addiction. Just tell me that then. Make that the content. Make the title, how gaming addiction ruined my life and how I fixed it. And then you could put in the title or in the thumbnail, you can do it too. That already is like, so it's like, I'm going to tell you a personal story about me. That's sort of like a unique value proposition. And I'm going to tell you how I managed to fix my life and how you can do it too. You're offering real value to somebody, right? There's a reason to watch that video. Whereas if I wanted to see somebody like talk about gaming addiction kind of, or like, I could go watch a bunch of videos about it. There's so many people talking about it, but the value those videos provide is clear. The value this video is going to provide me is really unclear. I click on it and there's like a skit, and then you're telling me your story.
My first experience with gaming was a PSP that I bought. I was around 12 at the time, and I earned the money by helping my brother with his job. By helping him, I meant doing absolutely nothing. I was just sitting broke. Like, me buying it gave me the idea that I had the right to play on it whenever I wanted. And so I did. I played WWE.
I just also want to point out that this feels a lot more authentic, is the word I'll use here. It's a way better to watch than this skit you did in the beginning, and you're talking about some guy who doesn't exist, or maybe it's you, but you're talking about yourself from like the you know, like from a different perspective or whatever. Whereas this feels like raw and natural. Like this is a dude like telling me about his life, and it's much more interesting and
Second over
clear.
there, I even had God of War. Boy, you know that? Boy. Like, I was hooked. Now, after playing the hell out of this PSP, my brother came home one day with a PlayStation 2. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I think he bought it for himself, but I claimed it. I started playing all types of games on there. I played GTA Vice City, just GTA. I had no other GTA.
But after finishing GTA, I went on to other things.
Medal of Honor Frontline,
Rayman, I love that game.
Tekken again, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, or Megadon. I know some that got a Megadon.
Anyways, I played them all.
You got jokes, you got humor, the pace is decent, there's some energy here. Like, imagine if this video just started right here.
It gave me the idea.
With gaming was a PSP that I bought.
Right here, like right there would be a much better start to this video. And then I expect you to tell me, like, briefly your story, like open up your story. And then at some point in there, be like, you know, it was taking over my life. Now I'll keep telling you my story. And then eventually I'm going to tell you how I can fix it and how you can do it too. So you like tease that payoff in the beginning, right? And you would actually like have a real video here that would provide value and stuff. There's a lot of potential here. But I just don't have the time to like break down every second and every word that you say and like help you write the script and all of that stuff. Not here, not in this video. But I do think that if you were to continue to make these videos and to put them out faster and really think through your idea and your concept and like what you have to bring and telling personal stories and how those stories can help other people and stuff like that, you would have a much better shot here. But you really need to think about like what kind of content can I make? And what am I going to make? And then start from that first principle of what's the best possible video I personally can make that would have value to other people. And then just put out way more content, dude. You really got to grind. If you want to get good at this, it's going to take a lot of effort. And you're going to have to put out way more than 19 videos over the course of 4 years. Okay, we've done a pretty thorough look at Toxicity's channel. Went through everything from the niche, the branding, looked at several of his videos and broke them down. If you want the same level of clarity for your channel, go ahead and check out my Why Watch Me guide, the Why Watch Me worksheet. Fill it out. It takes like 15 minutes. It'll give you a ton of clarity on your channel, help you move forward. 2, if you would like a full audit, but you want to do it yourself, it goes into way more depth than what we covered in this video. It's 42 pages. You can also find that in the description. It'll tell you about everything from your niche and your branding to like the video itself, the script, how you could monetize your channel in the future, all that stuff. You can audit your channel yourself to have clarity. Or finally, if you want me to look at your channel to guarantee I look at it, you can book an audit with me. But thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and until next time.